There really haven't been a lot of changes to mortgage interest rates in the last few months, but we've got some great products here. If you are a borrower, I think you'll find these really interesting, so keep watching. Tom, hi. A lot of people are kind of sitting on their hands at the moment, not so much for the election, but to see where interest rates are going.
Yeah.
Frankly, they're not going to be changing a lot till at least September, when the Bank of England are projected to bring the base rate down. But even then, it's unlikely to be more than 0.25%. And there might be another 1 or 2 reductions later in the year of 0.25%.
Yeah.
So, there's not a great deal coming up. And really, what difference does 0.25% actually make to you as a borrower?
Not much, in all honesty, and we've got some examples here. So a £300,000 mortgage over 25 years at 6.25%, which is 1% above the current base rate, makes payments £1,979. If the base rate then reduced by 0.25%, it brings your payments down by £46 a month.
Yeah.
If it come down by 1%, it brings your payments down by £181 a month.
And that's not going to be until well into next year.
I would agree, yeah.
Probably.
1% is a big jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And similarly, on a £500,000 mortgage, if it comes down by 0.25%, it's £76 cheaper.
Correct.
But then it does mount up a little bit once you hit 1%, which will be £302.
Yeah.
So I think the takeaway is, if you're stuck in a house and busting at the seams, get on with it.
Yeah, don't wait for the base rate to
There's not
to
much
change.
happening here.
Yeah.
Leeds Building Society Reach products.
Yes.
This is quite interesting.
Yes.
For customers with bad credit scores.
Yes.
So tell me about that, Tom.
It's great what Leeds are doing. So they are now offering mortgages to borrowers who don't hit the standard credit score. As with any borrowing, you need to have a good credit score, especially a mortgage. Lenders will have a standard range or a standard score that you must hit. What Leeds are now saying is, if you don't hit the standard scoring, come to us. We have an enhanced check where we can offer you mortgages even if you don't hit the standard credit score.
That's very interesting. So for 90% are offering...
Yeah, 90% mortgages with Leeds, as an example, are at 5.08% on their standard range. But for their reach range, it's 5.17%.
That's not bad, is it?
Not much difference.
That is not a lot of difference, wow. And so who is this targeted at? Or who can apply from this? Obviously, this is for people with credit scores, but I think it's new customers to Leeds Building Society.
New customers to Leeds Building Society.
And people who want to remortgage as well.
People who want to remortgage as well, and people with a small deposit. The target market isn't people with large deposits.
Yeah, so is it a maximum of 75% loan to value?
Between 75 and 95%.
Okay.
Loan to value.
So if you're going for 60% loan to value, they're not going to do it.
Product doesn't apply. Yeah.
So right, moving on. Existing customer valuations.
Yes. Yeah.
What's that? Tell me about that.
So, when you have a mortgage with one lender, if you go to renew your mortgage with them, the lender will give you an automatic valuation.
Desktop valuation.
Desktop valuation.
Yes. Okay.
What I'm finding is that lenders are giving low valuations to existing customers.
Yeah.
This creates a higher loan to value and a higher interest rate.
Yeah, okay, because it's poor borrowing criteria.
Yeah, smaller equity. What I'm finding is a lot of people are leaving their existing lender because the valuations are wrong with the existing lenders, applying elsewhere, are achieving a higher value on their home. Higher value means lower loan to value, lower interest rate.
Yeah.
So staying with the same lender at this moment isn't popular.
So, as an example, you had a client with Santander, nothing wrong with Santander. the property was worth 400 in their opinion. It was valued at 375.
Yeah.
Moved to a new lender, revalued at 410
Yeah.
on the desktop valuation.
Yeah.
So got a much better interest rate on the back of that because of the loan to value terms.
Correct.
Okay, so that's very interesting. Also, growing demand for joint borrower sole proprietor
Yes.
loans. This is really interesting. I knew nothing about this. So maybe you could expand on that as well.
So what this means is if a person is trying to buy a property and they can't achieve the mortgage amount on their own that they need to buy the property, they can add up to 3 other people to their mortgage to achieve the loan that they need, but only the person will be the owner of the property. Hence, joint borrower, sole proprietor. You can add up to 4 people onto a mortgage and only one person owns the property, and you can do it up to 95% loan to value
That is
on
very
houses and
interesting.
flats. Yeah.
Wow. And more prevalent, obviously, in more expensive areas like sort of Blackheath, London.
Yeah.
Because one of the other mortgages you were talking about a few months ago was with the Skipton.
Correct.
You haven't done a single one of those, have you, where it's 100% mortgage?
Correct, yeah.
Because that is for people in Skipton.
Yeah, I feel like the Skipton 100% mortgage, the target market is Skipton.
Yeah.
Where the joint borrower sole proprietor, we're doing lots of them, more and more every week, because people in our market are buying in London and the surrounding areas. So more expensive properties.
So it's up to 95% loan to value on houses or flats.
Yeah.
90% for anything that's new build.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that the oldest of the group can be up to 80.
Yes,
so
correct.
I'll be okay. I'll be okay on that
will.
one, just about.
Yeah.
And that has an effect on stamp duty as well for certain buyers. So if you're buying as a couple and you already own a property in your own name.
Yeah. Yeah, so just to touch on that point, if the first applicant is a homeowner but the second applicant isn't, they can buy a property together. Applicant A can keep his property. Applicant A can go on as a joint borrower, but not the proprietor, which means they can keep current property and avoid the extra stamp duty charge surge.
That's very interesting. That's great. Tom, thanks very much.
No problem, Mark. See you next time.